Okay. Hi, I'm Lindsay Merrick. I'm one of the formal learning officers for Aberdeen Archives, Gallery and Museums. In this short introduction, I'd like to go over a few points of general information on our venue's accessibility at the moment. And I think I really do have to put some stress on the phrase at the moment, as obviously we cannot guarantee that what I'm going to tell you now with regards to opening hours and conditions will be the same in 1 week's time or 1 month's time. But as Nicola Sturgeon continues to do a great job in keeping us all informed of all the changes related to COVID in Scotland, we intend to keep you informed of what we can offer. And Karen will talk a wee bit about the communication methods in a few moments. So at the present time, Aberdeen Art Gallery is our only public venue that is open to the public. As you can see on the screen, our opening hours are Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, 10 o'clock to 5 o'clock. Sunday, slightly shorter hours, 10 o'clock to 4 o'clock. And we are closed to the public on Tuesdays for essential cleaning. You can book a ticket online for a 2-hour timed visit, and we strongly recommend that you do this. Although, if you do turn up without a booking, our wonderful front of house staff can organise a ticket for you, but again, it will be for that 2-hour timed visit, so you will have to wait until the next 2-hour cycle begins or just finishes. We are not taking group bookings other than 6 people from the same household. This means that no school, college, university, or special interest groups visits are happening at this time. We are also not hosting any live public events, but we are hopeful that as the situation improves, we will be ready to get back to our full public programme and welcome learners back into the building.
That's great. Thank you very much, Lindsay. I'm going to run you through a few ways in which you can engage with us. Even though we can't accept school visits at the moment, there are some things going on in the gallery, and there are different ways that you can engage with those things going on in the gallery, so various temporary and permanent exhibitions. And we want to show you some new ways that you can still engage with those objects and artworks with your learners in the classroom or at home as well. So as you'll see on the screen here, there is a schools bulletin, a schools newsletter that Lindsay and I will be sending out periodically. This can be accessed through the Aberdeen City Council SharePoint, but we will also have it posted on our website. And I'm going to give you a little tour of our website in just a moment. There are downloadable PDFs that you can use in your classes with your learners, or they can use at home independently. We have a couple of tours on the Smartify app, and we also have Google Classrooms that are dedicated to specific themes about our collections. So we've tried to find as many ways as possible for you to access the collections until you can bring your learners physically back into the building. So what I would like to show you just now is a little bit about what we're doing in terms of our new website. So don't mind me for a little second while I just stop sharing the PowerPoint screen. And then I will share this screen with you. Okay, so on your screen, you will see our new Aberdeen Archives, Gallery and Museum website. For those of you who have met Lindsay and I before and you know us and you have used the website in the past, you will remember that the old one, although it was kind of useful for the time, but it then became quite slow and not so user-friendly. So this has been updated throughout the lockdown period, and Lindsay and I have been using this extensively when searching for collections and uploading things for schools and learners. and we are absolutely delighted that it's working really well. Some of you might have explored it already, but I'm just going to give you a little bit of a short tour around it today. And there are two sections I would particularly like you to know about. So this is the landing page, and this will take you through what's going on in the gallery at the moment. And of course, one of the big things is the BP Portrait Award 2020, which I'll talk about a little bit more in just a moment. But a couple of things I would like to bring your attention to. There is this Learn section now, and there's a page dedicated to schools, and there's a page dedicated to teachers CPD as well. The families one also has learning resources on it, which will be great, especially for younger learners or young learners who are perhaps still working from home with their families. Another section I'd really like you to know about is our collection section. This is extremely useful. It's an extensive archive, and it's absolutely wonderful for teachers and learners to use to discover the collections. So what I would just like to point you in the direction of is our schools page. And on here, we have our downloadable teachers packs that we introduced teachers to when we were still open before the lockdown period. They are downloadable PDFs, and then we have our new Google Classroom resources that will be appearing along this section of the page here. These are also downloadable. So if you don't have access to Google Classroom or you don't use Google Classroom, that's not a problem at all. They are downloadable PDFs here as well. The Google Classrooms, we're starting to set these up. We'll give access to them as they go live, and the ones that will be accessible just now are the BP Portrait Award and Explorathon. Lindsay's going to tell you a little bit more about Explorathon in just a moment, but I would like to direct you towards the BP Portrait Award Google Classroom. So the BP Portrait Award exhibition is taking place in the Level 2 galleries in Aberdeen Art Gallery right now. It is on until January the 24th, and it is an absolutely wonderful exhibition celebrating portraiture. It's an incredibly worldwide renowned exhibition. I'm sure many of you have heard of it before. For those who have never visited it before, this would be an ideal time. It didn't show in London this year, so Aberdeen Art Gallery is the only UK viewing of it. And as it is in our BP galleries on level 2, it's a lovely big space that has beautifully demonstrated the portraits within it. You can book a space via our website. I can show you that in just a moment. And it's free to visit. You get a 2-hour slot, which gives you loads of time to just wander around and take it all in. I have visited it a couple of weeks ago, and it's absolutely stunning. The calibre of portraiture this year is really something to be seen. It's a great way to engage with learners about portraiture as well, because these are contemporary living artists. So it's not about looking at the heritage of portraiture, it's looking about contemporary portraiture. And it has a wonderful diverse range of sitters and artists, and there really is something for every learner to engage in. So in this Google Classroom, if I take you to the Classwork section, you can see there are lots of different resources to engage your learners in. So there are short videos, if you want to play them on your smartboard, or if learners want to look at them at home. And then we have down here, we have downloadable PDFs. Again, these are the same ones that are downloadable from our website. And these are really wonderful resources. I'll open one up just now for you to take a look. Oh, couldn't preview. Oh, there we go. There we go, just took a little bit of a while on my end. So these are really fantastic resources that tell you a little bit about the BP Portrait Award, shows you how you can engage with it online if you can't visit it on site. And then there are examples of artworks and activities to go along with those artworks that you can do with your students in class. So this is a really great, easy, accessible way to talk about and explore the BP Portrait Award with your learners in the classroom, or they can do it at home. There's also a link, which is really quite great. So again, if we go to the home page, if we go to the BP Portrait Award, again, this can take you to the Google Classroom. So you've got a link from the landing page here. There is also a families resource. So these are for our younger learners, so early years and early primary. And this is really great. Again, these can be done in school, but they can also be done at home with their parents and carers as well. So this is a really nice way to access the Portrait Award from their homes. Oh. There we go. And from here as well, you can click on this button here, which is Spotlight Talks. And this is part of the Smartify tour. So Smartify is an app that you can have on your smart device, but you can also look at it on your web browser. And these are very short audio recordings from our staff at AAGM. The reason these are really fantastic is that it's people, just normal folks, all the staff working at AAGM, talking about their favourite artwork in the exhibition. It gives a little bit of a personal insight while also maybe telling you a little bit of information about the portrait. The reason this is really wonderful, you do not have to listen to the whole tour. So you don't have to start at the beginning and listen to every one. You can just dip in and out to whichever piece you would like to listen to. They're no more than 4 or 5 minutes long, so they're really fantastic for learners to do independently in the classroom. So you can open it up on a web browser. They don't have to have the app on their phone. You can open it up online, and this is a really lovely way. It's very accessible for learners who perhaps struggle with the more reading aspect of the teacher's resources, and it gives a really lovely personal insight into the artwork. So this is a really great accessible way to explore the exhibition. And again, just to remind you, that can be accessed via our website. In the teacher CPD part of the Learn section, we've got a page here. And this is where you will find a link to our museum from home, which has lots of other things to explore. I won't go through the whole lot because that's a CPD session in itself, but I would absolutely encourage you to explore it, because in there are blogs, there are visual description tours, there are lots of lovely ways to engage with the collections through music, through movement. So I would really encourage you to have a look at the museum from home. This is where you can also book your place through for the teacher CPD, and this is also where we will have the bulletins posted as well. So for colleagues who perhaps didn't get the email or didn't manage to access via SharePoint, you can just direct them to the website, and each issue will be updated on the website here. I just also want to show you that when you go through Museum from Home or any other links across the museum, they'll take you to our lovely YouTube channel. So you can access the YouTube channel independently. This is how you get to it here via the YouTube homepage, but there are plenty of links throughout our website as well. And again, I would encourage you to explore this with your colleagues and with your learners. There are lots of really lovely short videos on here about music, mindfulness, visual descriptions, workshops, demonstrations. They're all pretty short videos, but they show the real breadth of our collections and ways to engage with it. So Smartify, the website, our YouTube channel, and our Google Classrooms are all ways that you can engage with the collections, with your learners, until we're able to have schools visiting in our venues again. I know that's quite a lot to remember. Remember, this will be a recorded session, so you'll watch it online. But a rule of thumb is most of it can be accessed through the Learn section, through the schools and CPD. I'll just show you very quickly. When we go into collections, you can go to Browse the collection and click on this pink button here. And you'll be able to access an archive of our collections of artworks and objects. This is an absolutely fantastic resource. You can use it independently of the learning resources, although they complement the learning resources. And up in here, if you click on exhibitions, you'll see the current exhibitions that are permanently on display in our venue at this time. So it means that you can click on a room, you can go to View Works, and you can see all the artworks that are on display in that gallery. The reason I want to show you this, because I know some of you have favourite rooms when you visited Aberdeen Art Gallery, and it's a nice way to explore those artworks with your learners until you can physically bring them back into the venue again. So that's a sort of whistle-stop tour of Aberdeen Archives, Galleries and Museums' new website and the BP Portrait Award Google Classroom. I'll bring Lindsay back in now and she can tell you a little bit more about Explorathon.
Okay. Right. Oh, I'm sounding a bit echoey, am I?
I'm going to stop sharing this one.
Okay.
And I'll share the Explorathon resource.
Okay. Well, thank you, Karen, for that very clear and concise summary of our BP portrait resources. I think we can all agree that they look great, and our hope is that they'll be well used in lots of different educational settings. And the same obviously applies for the new website. It's just wonderful being able to access the wide range of the collection and do that in speedier than the old website. I think we'll just leave it at that. Moving on to the next item on our learning agenda, I'm going to take the next 5 to 10 minutes to talk to you about Explorathon. Now, you may have unwittingly come across some of the Explorathon public events over the past few years, as they have been a presence in Aberdeen city centre. Normally, they run over the long weekend in September. So people who were just popping into Marky's for some nice food for the weekend were introduced to a wide range of enthusiastic demonstrators talking about the importance of research. And that is what Explorathon is all about. It's a celebration of the work that researchers do. It showcases the diversity of work currently being undertaken, and it highlights the impact of this work on our daily lives. Essentially, they're bringing researchers and the work that they do closer to the public. Explorathon took place in over 300 European locations last year, and 22,000 people in Scotland alone took part in one of their events. In Aberdeen, these events are organised by the University of Aberdeen. Now, we as a department have been trying to participate in Explorathon over the past few years, but the timing just was never quite right. For instance, last year, we were 100% occupied with reopening the art gallery. And I must admit that it kind of blows my mind that it's now over a year since the gallery reopened. And the least said about this year and the COVID pandemic, I think the better. I think that topic has been discussed fully. 2021 also looks a bit uncertain as the funding from the European Union is in negotiation, shall we say. Thank you very much, Brexit. But the one thing that we can agree on after the past 8 months is the sheer potential of digital engagement. I think Karen and the display that she just showed us summed that up brilliantly. We can still create activities and discussions on any topic related to artworks, historical objects, and we can bring it into your classroom, even if we cannot bring your classroom into us. As for our Explorathon resources, the theme that we've decided upon is empowerment, the importance of it and how it can be achieved and showcased through the arts. Now, empowerment is one of those words that's become somewhat ubiquitous in our culture. It is used to sell us everything from soft drinks to underwear, and it's also used to inform us how any kind of official policy is only being implemented to help improve our lives. For me personally, empowerment is about an individual becoming stronger and more confident so that they can speak up, they can claim their rights, and also they can then help their communities be treated in a fair and equal manner. One of the many advantages in working in the culture sector is that the arts really lends itself to be used as a tool to compare and contrast, and thus better understand societal norms through different periods in history. So from that perspective, it was really quite easy to consider empowerment in terms of our collections and displays. We have created teachers' resources, which Karen is displaying right now on the shared screen, for upper primary and junior phase secondary learners. They cover women's fight for suffrage, women as culture producers, body empowerment, and there will also be, these will be released soon. The Explorathon Festival is happening in the 23rd to the 26th of November. But we will also be producing a short video to accompany our resources. This video will feature myself and Karen located in Gallery 14 of the Art Gallery, which is the room actually entitled The Art of Empowerment. And that the title of that room took, I would say, probably about 2 years to decide upon, but we're very happy with the end result of it. I think it's a great title, and it's also a great permanent display. Karen and I will be looking at and discussing some of the objects that we were not able to include in our teachers' resources. You will notice that the teachers' resources for empowerment, for Explorathon, are quite succinct, but lots of activities attached to them. I think that on the concept of the video, I think we can all agree that this dramatic feature presentation will be the pinnacle of mine and Karen's fledgling acting careers. And moving on swiftly, I would highly recommend that you check out the Explorathon website for more details of their online and socially distanced programme of events that will run from the 23rd to the 29th of November. We will be using our regular e-flyers, social media, and AAGM's website to keep you constantly updated on the resources we are creating to complement our permanent and our special exhibitions. So although it may be a while before we can start welcoming you and your learners into our venues again, we are hoping that it will become almost second nature for yourselves to check out our latest digital engagement projects. And I think that probably is the main theme to take away from what Karen and I are sharing with you today. We have been producing a lot, and we just want you to make it become regular, just to check in and see what the latest thing is that we have produced for you while we continue to work from home. Okay, thank you very much. I know I said I would last 10 minutes, but it turns out that I speak much too fast.
No, that's absolutely brilliant, Lindsay. Thank you. And what I should have said earlier on in my presentation, I just want to show people that you can download this from our website, from the school section of the learning pages, but you can access this in Google Classroom via this code here. So each of our learning resources will have a identifying code, and you just put that into Google Classroom and it will take you to the Art of Empowerment classroom, where you can also access these learning resources that are available as downloadable PDFs as well. So as I said before, you don't have to use Google Classroom. They are on the website, but if you do want to use these in Google Classroom in your classes, you just type in this code here.
And I'll just interject at this point, Karen, just to say that unlike the BP resources, which are live on the website and are live in the Google Classrooms, Explorathon will be live in the next week.
Yes, so there is an Art of Empowerment classroom. So the downloadable PDFs, using that link, it will take you. So here's the link here, which is in the PDF that you can get from the website. You pop that link in, it will take you to this Google Classroom. And again, in the Classwork section, we've got the learning resources, and here are the primary Explorathon PDF and the secondary Explorathon PDF. And they're exactly the same as the ones that will be on the school section. So as Lindsay said, it's going to go up this week, so it'll pop up down here next to the BP Portrait Award, and then it is available in the Google Classroom like the BP learning resources.
And I think that in the future, what we aim to have is a more balanced approach in terms of what we can deliver whenever you do come into the venues, so that as soon as we're allowed back in on site and you're allowed back in site, we don't suddenly run out of time during our working week to create additional resources. And so that we will be constantly adding to them, I think is something that we are going to stick to, no matter how hard it may be, but certainly at this time it's a wee bit easier to produce digital resources and get them up. Wouldn't you agree, Karen?
I absolutely agree with that. This is going to be an ongoing thing that Lindsay and I, as Lindsay rightly said, we're going to be adding to this. So I wasn't going to show you this, but I'll give you a wee sneak peek anyway. So these are the various themes that we're going to be having up here. So some of them aren't live yet because the classroom is not finished and we don't have all the resources and we want to. But if I take, if I take the Art of Empowerment for an example, in the Classwork, it won't just be the learning resources that you can get from the website, although they are there, but among it as well, we add things in like videos that'll take you links to the Explorathon websites and YouTube channels so that you can explore these with the learners. So the idea is that the Google Classrooms will be continually added to so that there are lots of different ways to engage with that theme with your learners, and it's not wholly dependent on a temporary exhibition or temporary project. Because even though Explorathon is a short-lived project in the month of November, as Lindsay rightly said, but then the learning resources are to do with empowerment, and the learning classroom is all focused on Art of Empowerment. So it has a life itself out with any temporary exhibition. Although the BP Portrait Award is a temporary exhibition, within these resources, we also have things like quizzes on portraiture. We have the Spotlight Talks, which of course can be accessed on Smartify. We have the learning resources, which I've already showed you and that are on the website. And we can also explore the collection. You can explore portraiture in the collection, for example. And again, clicking on it here will take you to the Portraiture Gallery on our collections website. So the idea is that learners can explore this independently, especially older learners can use this as a study and resource tool. And then you yourselves can learn it, use it for kind of learning about the collections yourself, feeling more confident in talking about the collections with your learners, but also explore together with your learners in class. So as Lindsay rightly said, these classrooms will be here and we will continually add to them. We will make the resources robust and a variety of them, and then we will make sure that you have access to the codes so that you can enter it at your leisure.
The only thing I would add to that, again, Karen, very clear, very concise, covering all the hotspots. I can remember the last time that we held the BP Portrait Award before the gallery closed for the refurb, and I know that it was just hugely popular, not only in getting schools from the city, but also getting in schools from the Shire coming in, and actually schools from Moray and coming up as well from the Central Belt, which is very hard to do. And I think that portraiture is just one of those things that people can really find a nice introduction to art in the classroom. And I think that's the reason why we have quite a few resources looking at different age groups, different activities, and also what you can get out of it yourself and what your learners can take from it as well. And I think with such a focus now on health and well-being in the classroom and at home, and after the past 8 months, I think empowerment is a timely topic to cover. And I think that also as well in the BP resources, another timely topic was that we have covered, when you get a chance to look at them in more depth, is representation. And we don't have all the answers, but I think we can introduce the discussions and use the resources that we have in terms of our collection to frame it in a different light.
Absolutely. And again, we don't expect you to remember everything that we've shown you today, but Lindsay and I will be sending out those bulletins on a regular basis, and we'll be highlighting themes and collections with you, how you can access them. And we'll invite you to give feedback as well. Every time you go into Google Classroom, it will say in the stream that you are welcome to contact us, give your feedback, make suggestions. Perhaps there's something you would like to know about that. And another way that you can do that, if you don't mind me just sharing my screen just quickly again, sorry, I know I'm jumping back and forth here. But another good way to do that is via the Contact Us section on the website. Lindsay, are you seeing the website there?
I am indeed.
Wonderful. So this is the landing page of our website, and if you scroll down to the bottom, you'll see the Contact Us section. It's also got all our social media links here as well, which of course we encourage you to engage in. I know that teachers especially like to use Twitter, and learners really enjoy looking at Instagram, and I've already shown you our YouTube channel, and I thoroughly recommend you have a look at that. And here is our Contact Us section here. So you just click on there and it's so easy. So just name, your school email address, your message, and then if you click on here, if you select learning, it means it's going to come to our team. And Lindsay and I check the emails that come in via learning every day. So we will get back to you as soon as we possibly can. So if you have any feedback, questions, queries, just use the contact form. Make sure you select learning. Feel free to put Lindsay or my name in the message if you want to. Make sure it comes directly to us, and then click send. Although it's a central inquiries system, when you click learning, it does mean it will be filed through to our team's learning email account. So this is a really great and easy way. You could also sign up to join the mailing list, which is also a fantastic way. And Lindsay kind of reminded me there when she was talking about the sort of various themes and way to engage with us. I also just want to highlight our story section for those who might have enjoyed the art chats or the music playlists when you visited the gallery. They're in the story section now. We've got visual descriptions, which are also on our YouTube channel. So the ways that you were perhaps engaging with the collections when we were open and you were in visiting, they're still there. They're just in a slightly different place in the website. But as Lindsay rightly said, we're going to continue looking at the different themes and ways that we should be engaging with the collections. And as I said, we welcome your feedback on it. So please do use this contact form if you would like to.